Hey guys, what's up? This is Agent Orange. Welcome to my tutorial for BeatLab Studios. Today I'm going to show you how to make bass and kick for Techno and Tech-House the way I do it. So I hope you learned something, and you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/AgentOrangeNYC. Thanks.
Alright, so here we have Ableton Live. I'm going to load up some kick drums. This is the Mike Vale loop pack from Loop Masters, I think it was. Yeah, from Loop Masters. There's really, he really takes good care of sounds. He does a really good job of setting things up here. So I'm going to find something with a little more punch around 100 Hertz. Here, I like this one. For the kick, I'm going to drop it into the drum rack here. Just create a quick little loop. Wait, I'm on the wrong drum rack. Okay, let's try that again. Let's try it on this drum rack. Create a quick little loop. And there we have. Let's bring the BPM up a little bit. 125 works fine. Alright, so there we have our kick. I'm going to do a little bit of EQ here. Just very little. Let's take a loop. So I'm going to EQ out some of the high and some of the low. So it's a little snappy up top. So I'm going to, well, it's a bit too harsh. Let's try this one. Maybe just cut off around, right around 8,000 Hertz. And then on the lower end, I'm going to cut off at 30 for now, and I'll see how that sounds later. Maybe I'll put it back. So now for the kick, for the bass part, the traditional, which would bass part, which would be like a note, or you know, like a synth. For some of the harder techno, edgy kind of techno tracks, I like to use another kick and put like a massive reverb on that other kick, and then bring that reverb as kind of the bass line for the techno track. So let me find another kick. This is the first one we used. Here, this one has a bit of sub there, so I'm going to use this one. Alright, I'm going to mute the first track. I'm going to come down here, set up another MIDI track with the kick. Okay, there we have our kick. Now I'm going to put a really long reverb on this. Let's pull up a reverb here. I'm just going to use one of the standard Ableton ones. Let's see, like a long one. Yeah, I could pick really any one, because I'm going to use Cathedral. But you could just hit freeze over here, and then it just makes the tail like go infinite. So there we go. This is a totally wet signal. And let's see. So we want a very like bassy rumble, because we're going to use this for like the low end bass line type. So first, let's make this mono. Doesn't have to be, but that's just the way I like it. And then let's get more of the. See, there we go. We have that really long tail. So now I have that playing. What I'm going to do is just take an audio sample of that. So I'm going to feed channel 2 into channel 3. Muted, of course, so we don't get a feedback loop. We're kind of redlining, so I'm just going to bring the volume down a little. Because, you know, red and digital is never a good thing. So let's see. This should do it. I'm gonna use that. So now I can come in here and stop that. I can pretty much mute this channel now. We don't really need it anymore. And now this is what we're left with. Just a very rumbly, low end of this reverb of that kick drum. So now I'm gonna take like a 2-beat loop And let's see, kind of towards the end, I think, because it doesn't have that initial hit there. So let's loop it. Sometimes repitch mode and keeps things nice and clean with an Ableton. Okay, I think that's pretty good. All right, so this needs a bit of EQing to bring out some more of the low frequency there. So we're gonna cut off all the high. Just about 200. Then cut off the very, very low at 30, just like that. And then bring up where I want like the real rumbly area like to be, right? So I'm going to look for a place that doesn't clash with the kick. So if we look at the kick, it's kind of, it's a more of a subby kick. It's kind of peaking here around 50, 60 hertz. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to boost the bass note, like the bass tone sound, around 100. Yeah, just about 100. I'm only boosting by like 2 dB, like a medium curve, kind of a more tight, sharp curve, bell curve there. So there you have that so far. Okay, so now I'm going to duplicate this first kick. I'm going to keep one of them muted and I'm going to rename it kick SC for sidechain. Now this is going to be the phantom kick, which is just going to trigger the sidechain. This is a neat little trick that I like to do, you know, because everyone, you know, loves to use sidechain in dance music. But sometimes in the middle of a track, if your kick comes out, you know, the breakdown, all the stuff that is running under the sidechain, it just comes up, and sometimes it gets too loud, or sometimes that sounds cool and you want that, but usually I don't. You know, at times I do, but you know, I try to use this phantom kick track so that doesn't happen. So everything stays nice and sidechain compressed in you know, when the regular kick comes out. So let's bring the regular kick back in. And now let's bring in that sidechain to that bass rumble. I'm gonna set this up after the EQ. You could either set it up before or after, but you got to keep in mind if you make any other changes on the EQ, it's going to affect the compressor and you're going to have to reset it. So actually what I like to use in Ableton is I'm running Ableton 9 here, but what I like to use is the compressor from Ableton 8 because it doesn't click. Ableton 9 compressor has a little click that can get very, very annoying. So there's tutorials online about how to import your compressor from Live 8 into Live 9. I have it set up in my user preferences here. Let me just find it. User presets, audio, compressor. Here we go, compressor Live 8. I'm just going to drop this in. And I'm going to put this in front. And I'm going to set this up to that first kick channel. I'm going to put a ratio of about 7. Attack to be really quick. 10 milliseconds of look ahead. And about 30 milliseconds of release time. Let's hear how that sounds. There we go. That's it. There you have it. Techno kick and techno bass. Okay. Now let's move on. We can go to Tech-House. So Tech-House is a little more melodic, you know, it's a little more groovy, funky. So for the Tech-House low end, so we can keep the same kick. and sidechain and all that. But instead of using this tone, I'm actually just going to use a really simple sine wave. You know, it's kind of like very clean. I'm just going to use one of the sounds here from Live. If you open your instrument rack, in basses it's called hip hop sub. It's basically a sine tone, you know, it's a very hip hoppy kind of sound. Let me drop that on a MIDI track here. Okay, here we have that. So let's close up the stuff from the previous. All right, there's our kick. And let's go down. There we go. We have basically what we want already. So I'm just going to play something in. Something like that. All right, let's see. I think I have something close enough. So we go here, we can loop this up. Let me just fix that first note. And loop this up. Fix that tail. All right. And there we have it. Let's fix the notes up a little. And I'm just gonna duplicate that sidechain that we had over and see how it sounds. It's pretty extreme, we don't need that much. This kick seems to work really well with this bass sound, so I'm just gonna add this for a bit of pumping. And basically that's it. There you have it. So that's Tech House. Before we saw Techno. I'm Agent Orange. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me on my Facebook fan page. It's Agent Orange DJ. That's facebook.com/Agent Orange NYC. I'd like to thank Alex and BeatLab Studios for giving me this cool opportunity. I hope you guys learned something today. Happy beat making. Peace out.